Live, we're keeping the conversations going this morning and talking about the misunderstood social worker.
Oh.
That's an interesting title, right? Okay, so, we're more connected than ever. We text, we scroll, we communicate all day, and yet so many people still feel lonely. And so the question is, why is that happening when you have so many ways that we could stay, quote unquote, connected? Joining me is Joseph D. Williams. He's a licensed clinical social worker and psychotherapist and the owner of Misunderstood Voices PLLC.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate
Absolutely. This is a great conversation to have because, it's so interesting that we are so connected, yet more and more we're seeing people so disconnected. What's going on?
Historically, this is the most connected time that we're in
Yeah.
right now. And I believe that likes on social media, it makes you feel seen, it gives you attention, but it doesn't make you feel truly connected to a person. In my level of practice, we have people that text all day, and they will literally tell you, I haven't spoken to anyone besides work. And so what happens is that human connection looks like talking, discussing, feeling things. And I think that as much as we can communicate, look on social media, have someone like our posts, we interact with their environments, but to feel human connection, we still long for that.
So social media has really made loneliness look different.
Definitely. I love that point. Loneliness looks very different today based on the fact that we have 300 people that interact with our post or followers or whatever we want to call them. But then imagine today's your birthday and you got 100 happy birthdays on social media and no one actually called you to say that to you. Imagine how that may feel. And then you say, hey, you didn't wish me happy. Oh, I sent it to you on Facebook. I sent it to you on Instagram. And I believe that human connection makes you feel seen, it makes you feel heard. And we long for those things. Internally, emotionally, we all desire those things.
How do we start changing that, though? Because more and more, we are in an age where, yes, I sent you a text.
Yes.
That should be enough. But it's not. How do we get out of that when the world is moving us towards everything digital? I mean, look at where we are. We're streaming the show now. I mean, and this is where the world is going.
Right.
We're moving in this place, and we are removing ourselves from the human touch.
Yes.
How do we step back from that?
I think we have to start small because we have all become used to, hey, I don't want to deal with the interaction of conversation, so I'd rather just send a text, hey, I'm on my way. So I think we have to start small. Sometimes we have to just, instead of texting, I'm going to call. How was your day? Hey, give me a call back. And I believe in third places. Are you familiar with a third place?
I've heard it through researching you in this third place. So, tell our audience, what is a third place?
A third place is somewhere outside of home and work.
Okay.
A bookstore.
Okay.
The park. A bar, definitely a bar.
Okay, you hedged on that, so maybe not a bar so much.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Yes, a bar, because that is a place to interact. They have tons of bars. They have
a coffee bar.
They have a cereal bar in Baltimore.
Yeah.
They have a lot of different places where people are longing to interact. I'll just give you this really quickly. I was. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the Beltline in Atlanta. It's this huge trail that, So I'm walking by myself. I saw somebody twice within the morning. They were about their 50s. Hey, I see you're always sweating. Like, hey, do you want to join up tomorrow and walk? Sure. We walked 7 miles. We got to know each other. Then the next day, I was invited to an event called Books and Burritos. So that you just, you come with a book, describe the book to the person. We had burritos catered, and I got a chance to meet like 12 people. And now I'm part of a group text, and we've communicated. And I think that those are third places, creating opportunities for people to connect. Also, finding yourself in situations where you can not be forced to interact, but you guys have to talk in some manner or another. I think those things are important.
But Joseph, it gets so much harder, especially when you're an adult.
Yes.
I mean, you saw someone the second time in the trail and you said, hey, I saw you again. And I can imagine how that would go down here.
Right.
Like, why are you talking to me? I mean, what's
that was my first thought, but,
right?
Right. We all have levels of protection, and I do understand that. And so I think it's about trusting what your instincts feel like. It's about alignment. It's about safety as well. And, nowadays we have access to so much information about people being harmed or what does this person want from me. But I believe that you have to always find yourself in a situation where I trust myself and I trust that I'm not going to mishandle myself in a situation. So nothing is too intrusive. I'm not going to give you my home address just for us to take a walk. Hey, I'll meet you here, or I'm not going to give you anything personal of mine or step away from the bar and leave my phone in my wallet, But I do believe that a small conversation can oftentimes create an opportunity to at least feel connected to something.
What does this connection look like for younger people? I mean, we're talking about adults, and of course, we have agency to do a lot of different things. For
Yes.
younger people who are even more separated, I believe,
Absolutely.
than ever before, how does this conversation take shape? What does this mean for them?
Well, can I just add a small caveat?
Sure.
I have been a therapist for almost a quarter of a century, and I'm starting to see increasingly younger people
Yeah.
with an increased social anxiety.
Yes.
A lot of individuals have met some of their friends in group chats from when they were like 13. I recently had someone that I service that said that he finally got a chance to meet his peers that he's communicated with for more than 10 years in person at a pool party.
Goodness.
And so even recently I did something at Howard University, and this is the Mecca. And there's a lot of students who feel isolated on campus.
Absolutely.
They don't feel connected, and it's the way that we're kind of tied to social media. The world is there. There's a lot of social comparison. I always tell clients that I work with, do not wake up and look at someone else's life on social media when you first wake up. Do not get yourself caught up in that. You know, a lot of us, we can see someone posting a reel, but then we're looking at our own behind the scenes life like, why can't I go to Bali? You know, how come, you know, my wallet looks flat and hers look huge, you know?
Right.
So the reality is that we're doing a lot of social comparison, so it makes you kind of question who you are, or you don't feel like you fit in anywhere. And so I believe that it's about finding your tribe. And also, just with that caveat, I'm sorry I'm jumping around.
No,
but
it's good.
I
The
want to say
conversation's
this.
happening.
I want to say this to you. Curate your social media. If something triggers you, if something makes you feel less than, it's not the person's fault who's posting it. Curate things that speak to your existence. Curate those things that make you feel most whole. I love to go for long walks. I love to go for 12-mile walks. And
12 miles?
Yes. I've met a lot of people on the Metro Branch Trail in DC.
Right.
You know, so we've created situations. I'm going to be doing a walk and talk event very soon. It's a therapeutic walk where we're just going to pair and we're just going to have a conversation. I want to talk about life. I want to talk about healing. I want to talk about wellness. I want to talk about ways that we can grow as we approach a certain age. You know, and it's open for everybody. But I think that that's how we create human connection. You know, I think that the younger people, we have to be able to do small things because they've grown up in social media. So small things like call instead of texting. Small things like, hey, why don't you find yourself in a situation where you can join some sort of club for gaming? Why don't you find yourself, you know, in a situation asking people to meet up to do something as opposed to just communicating online?
I think a lot of younger people are actually starting to, not a lot, but some are noticing that they do have that disconnect. And I say that based on my daughter and her observation, because she always says, I think I was born in the wrong decade. She wishes she was born in the 90s.
Right.
Because she asks me, well, Mom, when you guys went to parties and all that, what was it like? I said, people talked to each other. We danced. I mean, you'd come out drenched in
We were
in sweat. I mean,
outside.
we were outside, right? And now she's like, you know, we go to parties and everyone's on their phone. And she says she has this rule when she's with her friends. They put away their phones and they have to talk to each other.
Yeah.
And when they have dinner, that's their rule. They put away their phones, they talk to each other. They don't post anything until afterwards, take pictures until afterwards.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, that's a little thing, and I'm so proud of her and her friend group for coming up with that rule because they noticed that the communication is missing and that there is that gap. You know, but that's them. How do we get this to be a more widespread thing, though, where these kids understand we need to have human interaction?
I believe that our families, it starts at
Yeah,
home. I
yeah.
believe that the people that we love and care about oftentimes have to start having these conversations. For me, myself, as an individual, I feel good when I can make someone put their phone away. I
Absolutely.
really feel good. For me, that's an accomplishment. If I can make someone put their phone away,
Yeah.
that makes me feel amazing. Yeah.
I think, you know, it's such a great conversation to be having because mental wellness and just that connection is so needed. And it's weird to me that we talk about it. We've had a lot of people come on this show and other shows, we talk about this, but yet and still the problem persists.
Yeah.
And so I wonder, are we really making a difference here?
Yeah, I think we are.
Okay.
I want to be positive.
Okay.
And not saying that you weren't, but
I'm a little downer right now. I'm playing devil's advocate.
No. So here we are. The access to mental health and mental wellness is out there, all throughout social media. There's so many different reels that resonate with people that prompt individuals to step outside. So the access to mental health information as well as socialized dynamics, we see them every day. I love when I'm on TikTok or Instagram and I see things that are happening in the DMV. I'm not in partnership with these people. They have a happy hour coffee shop at 11 o'clock and we get down. You know, I've been to one in Atlanta, I've been to one in DC. So there are opportunities to build and create. So we see it on social media. It's being pushed. You don't have to be all primmed and pulled together. Just show up. You know,
just show up.
Just show up. Just show up and find yourself, and you'll connect with someone. Yes, there is social anxiety, and I want to say this. I do want to add this caveat. Yes, isolation is very real, particularly summer isolation. A lot of us feel like we're not where we need to be, and if isolation persists, it can affect your sleep. It can affect your mental health. It can create anxiety and depression, and we have access to mental health throughout all spectrums with all types of insurances, like right here locally in DC. And so you can always reach out to someone if you feel like there is no hope. And we can start small. We can start small through a conversation, and that's how you really connect with someone.
Joseph D. Williams, a licensed clinical social worker, psychotherapist, and owner of Misunderstood Voices, PLLC. Can folks find you with the particular website or your IG handle?
Oh, yes. You can find me on IG as The Misunderstood SW. On IG.
Misunderstood SW. You'll have to come back.
I would love to come back.
Yeah, I mean, these are conversations I feel like we have got to keep going because people hear it, but I think, you know, repetition and then just showing them what it feels like, looks like to talk to people, that makes a difference.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time. All right, more Fox 5 Weekend Live coming up after this short break. Stay with us.